So, yeah, last time we finally resolved conflict between radicals and puritans of our party. Too bad John isn't here with Moriana, but well, I'm gonna have to just settle with you three. But yeah, we dealt with that conflict, radicals came successful, and yeah, obviously we will have to deal with Fallout. Because some people will notice that Cadis and Ignatius are nowhere to be seen, and they will start asking questions, of course politely, but who knows. And then, yeah, I wanna tackle the issue of new characters from the very beginning. As I mentioned last time, it will probably go along the lines that Xanthis and Moriana and the entire ship with Maximilian. We'll have to wait a few more days, like 1 or 2 or 3 more days on Scintilla. So Caden will be able to find replacements, and then like you will have a meeting in his room when both Zhao and Sigmund will be present, so that the rest of the party will learn of their new comrades, I guess. At least that's the general plan, but before we go with this, and of course there's still matter, but yeah, John isn't here, so he won't be probably interested in talking. Nobody else will be interested in talking with Benjamin, your kinda adept guy, NPC that yeah, he had his private talk with Caden. I remember somebody said that yeah, we're gonna ask him later. So yeah, at first let's go with kinda out of character information. Like, I know I can read through shit, but if you can give me, starting with as I see players, so Sigmund 213, if you can just give a short rundown, who is your character, what does he do, and like, I guess this might be a rhetorical question, but like how, like, is he neutral or is he like radical or slightly puritan? What's the deal with him?
He is, well, he grew up on the, Sigmund 213, his real name is Venator Het 213. Sigmund is a nickname. He, like his name, like his air quotes last name suggests, he is from Lathe World Het, which means he is definitely not a radical. Crimson Guardsmen are the, stormtroopers, the elite soldiers of the Lathe Worlds, the Skitarii of the Lathe Worlds, kind of.
But pragmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then my next question would be, because Caden is not a stupid guy, he would not put like he wouldn't definitely put Sister of Battle to this group, because he knows that, well, I don't want to put more Puritans, because then the next conflict will happen and they will kill one another. Who knows, maybe. And apparently those two guys and him, meaning Xanthis and Moriana, have some big plans regarding both Severan Dominate and maybe something deeper with Eldar. So then the question would be, can you think of like potential reason or possibility, or like how situation decide that you were picked up by Caden to be a new replacement, a new guy for this cadre?
He is a extremely high-ranking Venator. Venator being the name, the proper air quotes name for Crimson Guardsman. So high, in fact, that I ran out of in-universe rankings for him. He's just extremely experienced as far as the Mechanicus is concerned. He's extremely high-ranking in that he has very, 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 very few fleshy bits left. He's a tough bastard.
Okay, that wasn't exactly answering my question.
I don't know why. I can't think of a particular reason as to why he would be grabbed by the Inquisition, other than maybe the Mechanicus sending him in because he's a high-ranking person that they can trust.
He means what the GM means is more. Caden wouldn't put a Puritan on this team because we would immediately clash and probably kill each other again. So he's meaning more like in the philosophy sense.
Oh, his Puritanism comes more in the technology aspect. He's not going to be exactly, not that he knows it yet. He doesn't care that the party works with. He probably won't care that the party will work with aliens. He won't like it, and he's not going to get along with said aliens. But he's not. It's not something that he's going to get caught up over.
Oh, but he will definitely be a lot of fun when that thing with Silicanimus comes to front. Because it will happen, assuming he will survive. And with him it will be fun. Okay, so yeah, that's with him. And what's the deal with Zhao?
Zhao Shanwong is a noble from the what was it? Ascafelion Secundus in the eastern portion of the Calixus sector. I can't recall what it's.
Somewhere. For now, it's I guess probably not that important.
Any case, yes, it's a pleasure world. In
Maybe
breeding ground for Slaneshi cultist.
Well, probably, but in this exact instance, it's in the Drusus Marches, so there's a lot of holy things in the area, maybe that limits it a bit more. But his family helps, aside from the fact that they own large portions of Ascafelion Secundus and probably host tourism and whatnot. They're also provenders of the Imperium. They provide lots of foods and services, own vast tracts of land, and being noble and from a pleasure world, he grew up with a somewhat more happier view of the Imperium. He was largely protected from the more unpleasant realities of imperial life, and being rather intelligent and well disposed to intellectual pursuits, joined the colleges of the Heteraia Lexis, which is also a rather permissive organization, and he has a very, very strong interest in Xenos and, you know, technology and things from outside. The normal ecclesiarchal line for, you know, rebuke the alien, despise the alien, it's more of a suggestion. That's, you know, maybe rightfully for, you know, lesser minds, less refined senses than his own, but he's well able to separate what is corrupting from what is just merely interesting.
I'm going to enjoy this one.
And he's also he is probably one of the sector. It's probably one of the sector. What's the word I'm looking for? Experts on the Eldar.
Yeah, so we already have like a potential reason why Caden picked him up, or maybe because he's a noble, he like kinda gave an offer. Even though Caden is like, with his amount of political influence and pull, he might as well like very strongly be suggested, but he doesn't have a reason to antagonize you, so yeah, he kinda like threw in an offer. Interesting one. So I imagine that's why you are part of it. I mean, that's
and he does have a very broad set of knowledges.
Yeah,
a lot of common laws, and he had a lot of peers. So
you also have like connections as well, all these from skills. Although it makes me wonder, actually, to think like, I see you have like very high speech language, high Gothic. Like, usually, like, is this skill like useful in which situations it can be of use? Like, if you're trying to not decipher, but or maybe decipher or like.
It's just, yeah. Well, it's like deciphering. What it effectively means is your amount of fluency, I think. So not only can he speak High Gothic, he can speak High Gothic extremely well. His command of the grammar, his breadth of knowledge of different words and whatnot. He's
so that helps him in his like general
writing, oratory. Zhao Shenwang's also, he's a polyglot. He's a linguist. He can pretty much be dropped anywhere on any planet, and he can speak the language within just a few weeks. He's speaking with complete fluency.
Yep. I mean, what I mentioned, like in case there's like a noble party, then because he speaks High Gothic so well, it like, this guy's is really like your etiquette that people see is really up to.
I'm extremely well educated. And yes, it comes out quite clearly that I am noble.
Okay. Second thing, because I see something really interesting that probably will not come to play very early, because now we have you have other enemies to deal with. I tried to look through Wiki, although I didn't remember exact name. So what's the deal with House Genesis and Vendetta?
Being noble, all you gain a vendetta. There's a house that is there's always some group that hates you a little bit, and I thought I'd go a little bit interesting, and somehow or another what probably ended up happening is House Genesis is a minor God, eyes in the middle of the forehead. Navigator House.
Oh, yeah, Navigator House.
So what ended up happening is we had, being preventers, we sell a lot of the foodstuffs and things that we make, and that needs to be sold along with different groups. So we had contracts with House Genesis that were dropped in favor of another house. They didn't care for that very much.
Yeah, nobody likes it. But yeah, I was just wondering, like, because Genesis I didn't found them, but yeah, if they're like Astropath, Navigator House, not Astropath, it brings interesting potential, I guess, hopefully.
So they're a very minor Navigator House, but even the minor Navigator houses are, it makes things interesting, I thought.
Yep, it will be. It definitely will be.
That had better be John. It is.
What a scrap. It's like an hour after we are supposed to start anyways. So yeah, let's go with character introduction. And I'm gonna say that the thing with like experiment and bluff was canon. That I imagine like when Crimson Guardsmen, like Sigmund and also if you're saying something I don't hear, although you might be nice and not disrupting me. Anyways, so yeah, Sigmund and Zhao, perhaps Sigmund saw that Zhao had one way or another. Eldar, what was the name of that weapon?
Oh, I don't know that I would be walking around with it.
Yeah, you
was
probably
it necessary?
Wouldn't, but probably sooner or later it will come out. So yeah, for now, yeah, he doesn't spot any heretical items on on Zhao. And then I believe this particular scene is happening as you're still on Scintilla, and it's 2 days later, or perhaps 3, but yeah, 2. And we're gonna do this first because I don't want them to wait too long, as we would be doing Fallout. So yeah, you are assembled in a room. Perhaps it will be the same briefing room as previously, although you don't know that. Half lit, very dark, as the silhouette of Caden and his masked visage is hidden. And then basically, like, Moriana and Xantis earlier received a message that the two new Jesus Christ, I cannot spell for shit today. 2 new replacements, air quotes, or like just additions to Cadra to fill in losses are ready to present themselves, and I imagine both Xantis and Moriana went there to meet them. And now the scene is the same briefing room as previously, and you are all assembled to meet and greet, introduce yourselves in character, and yeah. And both Moriana and Xantis, yeah, you see Crimson Guardsmen. I imagine at this point you have like just enough common knowledge, or like some kind of basic knowledge that you see that's how he looks like, so he is like a Crimson Guardsman. And
Crimson Guardsmen are actually not super common outside of
noble.
They recognize me as Mechanicus, but they wouldn't be able to say, oh, that's this faction of the Mechanicus.
Yeah, that also
To them,
unless they want some kind of knowledge role, then yeah. But at first glance, it's pretty obvious that he's a Mechanicus.
I guess. What kind of knowledge roll would it be? I don't really.
That would be common law machine cult, and it would be difficult.
Or Forbidden Lore Mechanicus.
Yeah, it wouldn't be forbidden, would it?
They're not forbidden, but there is no common lore.
You mean, wait, common lore machine cult, I know, but I mean, it isn't that important. Honestly, I was just going to have Xanthus go in and say, oh, a tech priest. Or, oh, Mechanicus, because I don't know if you look like a tech priest per se.
I mean, I only said, like, if you want.
Or a generic one. So, we walk in, we see someone who's obviously Mechanicus, if maybe
he's also
more of a
7 feet tall.
More of a, well, I'm sure at this point Xanthus has seen someone wearing dragon scale before, so he wouldn't really question why you're so tall. He'd just say, oh, Mechanicus. A Mechanicus, and I'm afraid I don't know what you are. An Ada?
The other person looks pretty clearly as a noble. He gives the vibe.
A noble. Fair enough.
Well, he's dressed vaguely as an adept, but it's like scintillating fabric. It's a little bit of billow robes, so it's, if he's an adept, it's somewhat what would be the word, ostentatious for most adepts.
Adept or noble. A Mechanicus and a... My apologies, my lord, but I'm not entirely sure what you are.
Oh, yes, of course. Adept Xiaoshan Wang, a great pleasure to meet you.
I am Interrogator Xanthus.
Oh, that's an interrogator.
What character were we supposed to report to him? GM.
I mean, you are, the scene is, all of you are in a briefing room, and the Caden is also there. Which, like, as you entered, he was like, and those are the new replacements, additions to Cadra. Introduce yourselves.
More to the point, I suppose. I am Preceptor Savant and Master Templar Calyx Xanthus. But Interrogator is the more recent and more notable title.
Of course, of course. More properly, I am an adult of the colleges of the Hatarian Lexis and Xeno Arcanist.
Xeno?
Wong of House Wong.
Ah, a Xeno Arcanist. Which form of Xenos did you specialize in?
Oh, well. They're all so interesting. But Eldar are my main area of study.
Have you ever served on the? Have you ever served on the front line, Adept? Or
The
any
front
line of
line?
combat?
Oh, well, no.
Then he should be
But I
put
do
through his
have-
paces with Kenneth and the others.
I do have something of fluency with military tactics.
Hmm.
I've made extensive study.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. And as to you, Mechanicus, well, you're a big one.
Venator Het 213, commonly designated Sigmund.
Sigmund.
I'm
Oh,
a
as I
member
said,
of the Venatori.
the... I'm sorry,
Venatori.
what?
The elite of the Lave Worlds.
Oh.
Effectively a stormtrooper of the Mechanicus, if that helps you.
I thought that that's what the Skitarii were.
Well,
Qatar were destroyed. We were created to replace them.
Ah. A Mechanicus stormtrooper. So... Effectively a living tank, if I were to take my guess.
There are worse comparisons.
Fair enough. As I said, I'm Interrogator Xanthus. So,
and you would look somewhat against the woman.
She just stares at you through a helmet, not affirming or denying.
How tall are you?
Not as tall as the Crimson Guard. She is. Let me just bring up.
I wonder who's taller. I'm kind of curious.
Jazz only 5 foot.
She
Nine,
is
maybe?
6'1". So, and in Stormtrooper carapace, so probably a little bit taller than that.
Yeah.
6.5 feet,
Right.
probably.
I'm 2 meters tall, so 6.5 feet.
My. Aren't you grand?
Careful, Captain Kenneth already tried barking up that tree. No avail.
Walking up the tree. Ah! Ice! Oh, no. Of course, no, definitely not. But still.
Damn! Definitely not. Jeez.
And she says directly back, and yourself?
Yes. Josh Shen of House Wong of Ascalon Secundus.
I was referring to your gender. As you were mine.
It's hard to tell under all of that. But male, genetically. Male by birth and male by interest.
Xanthus has a amused whisper. Well, that's off to a good start from Caden.
Yep.
Tell me, were you both informed of what happened to our last two associates?
Not at all. I'm afraid our dearest Lord Inquisitor has kept us somewhat in the dark. Why are we here, Lord Inquisitor?
I believe this particular matter should not be decided by me, as even though formally I'm the leader of this cadre, so to speak. Zant is by virtue, he's like, if you want to say, field commander. So, more or less, long story short, I wanted to leap up to survivors, so to speak, or winners, if you will understand, if they how much they want to say.
Well, since the fact that Moriana is going to tell you anyway, and we might as well get this out of the way early. We had a disagreement, a philosophical disagreement with our previous two comrades. It came to blows, and we killed them.
Oh, how upsetting.
Under what circumstances?
More specifically,
Conflict of interest.
at this point, Xanthus will look at Caden. My lord, you don't mind if I tell them what we were doing, do you?
As long as these words are there, you like wait a second, and then you like feel psychic energies like swirling around the room, but very patiently. And then he like notes room is secured. Although, and then he looks at everyone. Although like you can only feel, you don't really see through the mask if he's looking at you, but you can like feel his steely gaze going at each and every one of you. Although I don't need to remind you that if these words will get out of the room or reach wrong ears, there will be retribution coming on your heads.
Of course, Lord Inquisitor. The situation was that the Lord Inquisitor, myself, and Moriana, along with our previous Primaris, Psyker, went to meet with an Eldar delegation to discuss a certain matter. Our assassin, our Moritat assassin.
Eldar!
Indeed, Eldar.
Witchcraft World.
Did she say Witchcraft World?
No.
I think it was Roleplay. Or that's what you suggested it was, Matt.
Did I? I mean, might as well.
I mean, out of character, I think you mentioned it was Orthway, or they had the symbology of it, but we didn't know it in character.
To be honest, I completely forgot. If I
Either that or Yandon, I can't remember.
If I suggested anything at all, but it might as well be Ulfa. At least I know this craft word because of Farsil Taldir and the games, but all the other ones I would probably need to check Wiki. But yeah, in character I'm pretty sure nobody, like it didn't come in talks and nobody asked to specify.
I'm not entirely sure Witchcraft World. You'd have to ask Lord Inquisitor Caden for that one.